This conference will now be recorded.
Yeah.
Handle backwards. The only change I saw in funding was that last year, if they had money left over, you could apply for travel. It's not in there now, so I'm sure it's a squeeze.
Okay, and the chairman signs or you sign?
Chairman.
Chairman signs, okay. What would we care to do with this agreement?
Second.
And moved by Tisdale and seconded by Comer. For the approval of entering into the LAMPG agreement and authorizing the chairman to sign, I assume was part of your motion? Yes, sir. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Okay.
Thank you.
JJRI grants, juvenile diversion grants. Mrs. Lux is here today.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Lexi Lux. I'm with Northern Hills Diversion. I am here today to request you guys, if you guys would be willing to sign the paperwork for me to submit for reimbursement for all successful juvenile diversion completions for 2020, the 2025-2026 year. So it'd actually be the 2026 grant year. Here is a list of all of the completions that we had. Our numbers are down a little bit this year in Lawrence County. Overall, our numbers were stable throughout Lawrence, Meade, and Butte County. The paperwork that you're seeing, or the numbers that you're seeing there, are only for Lawrence. So just to kind of give you guys an idea of what we've been able to do this last year, we did have a 93% successful completion rate. Our kids completed just shy of 9,000 hours of community service across all 3 counties. Over 5,500 of those were done in Lawrence County. You know, typical, we see a lot of substance related offenses that come through the program: alcohol, possession of controlled substance, marijuana related things. We did see a spike in simple assaults this last year. As far as, you know, the purpose of this, the state has a juvenile justice reinvestment initiative funds. They allocate up to $750 per successful completion back to the county once we submit this paperwork. So I'm just asking for a signature on that if you're willing.
Anybody have any questions for Lexi? It's been a pretty darn successful program, and if we can keep kids from staying in trouble and keeping them out of the penal system, it's a huge cost savings for the government.
Motion to allow the chairman to.
Do you have a question?
I was just gonna say, and
Second.
to authorize, designate the teen court as a recipient of the grant funds when they come in.
That was in.
Also,
Okay, it's been moved by Ewing, second by Flanagan, to authorize the chairman to sign and to authorize the teen court to receive the funds. Any other questions or discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Okay, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lexi.
Thanks, Lexi. If I could just get a scan. Thank you. Thank you.
So we need a budget supplement for sheriff travel
So,
for insurance proceeds. Yes, go ahead.
sorry, yes, we received 2 checks from Claims Associates in the amount of $3,466.41 for the repair of a 24 Ford Transit van and a 2024 Dodge Durango. So I just need permission to supplement this back into the sheriff's travel budget so they can pay the
Repair
for
bills.
the repairs.
Commissioner,
Yes.
the amount of 1,800 represents, or 1,600 represents the amount of one check. We must have gotten a second check in.
1,838.60.
Move to approve the auditor's request.
Second.
It moved by Tisdale, second by Comer, to approve the auditor's request to supplement the budget for repairs damage to vehicles. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Okay, motion carries. We are fully online now, aren't we, Bruce?
We are,
I apologize to anybody that was listening before that wasn't able to hear us. We just had some technical difficulties that we got cleared up, but we'll be continuing to move along with abatements are next for Ms. Brett.
We have one property owner in Whitewood, 667 Teton Way, that asked for 2 years of abatements, 25 payable in 26 and 26 payable in 27. Basically, there was some basement finish and garage finish that was assumed. The owner let us in, they hadn't let us in before, and it's not finished. So we're just abating that value of $31,057 and $32,182. So
Move to follow recommendation.
second.
And moved by Flanagan, seconded by Tisdale, to follow the recommendations from the equalization director and abate the property taxes for this individual. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Okay, all right, thank you. Thank you. Motion passed. We have a raffle opportunity coming up, I see.
Mr. Chairman, if I may, for your consideration is a raffle request submitted by the Spearfish Veterans of Foreign Wars. We're going to be having a raffle, I think, throughout the tickets will be sold throughout the year with the drawing ultimately on December 18th. with the proceeds to help the auxiliary programs, support veterans in need, and youth scholarships. Be looking for a motion to not object.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved by Ewing, seconded by Tisdale to not object to the VFW, Spearfish VFW raffle. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Okay, we will not object. Wellmark Health Insurance.
Chairman, I'm speaking on behalf of the insurance committee. We did get our renewal back from Wellmark last week. Came in at 1.25%. So on behalf of the insurance committee, I am asking that you authorize the chairman to sign the contract with Wellmark for 27, with the county paying 100% of the single policy and 80% of the employee spouse, employee children, and family policy.
Move to approve.
Second.
And moved by Tisdale, seconded by Comer to authorize the chairman to sign the contract with Wellmark Health. Any discussion, questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Okay, we'll get that signed.
Thank you.
Up to hazmat materials plan. I don't know, Paul, do you want to kick that off?
Good morning again. This morning I have Kelsey Newling here from South Dakota Department of Agriculture and Kaylee Snyder from Black Hills Council of Government that helped update our hazmat plan. I will tell you that the LAPC went through this last week, line by line, and we had some corrections, so we sent to you. The hazmat plan had not been updated since 2011, although I review it every year, which is a requirement. We got a grant from the state to write this, so hopefully, if you've looked at it, it is quite intensive and it shows all the storage places in the county and hazardous material stuff that's in there. So I will turn it over to Kaylee Snyder and she's can tell you more about it because she wrote the plan. Kaylee?
I don't have too much more to add on to it. Basically, it outlines in the plan procedures to take in the event of a hazardous material incident. As Paul said, all of the locations that are reported to the state are in that plan, as well as different reporting documents should there be an incident. It also includes various emergency contact numbers in the event of a spill and incident as well. So, but if you should have any questions, feel free to ask.
And I'm guessing that you didn't just write this plan all by yourself, Kaylee, that you interviewed or talked to emergency people,
So we did,
or the process?
well, we received some of the information when we went through the LEPC. All of the contact information came from emergency management. The document itself is mostly a template that's we go through. It's not as because it's a protected document, some of the information isn't as, there's no public meetings or anything like that. But I believe for the most part, all of the emergency folks had an opportunity from the LEPC to look at it and provide comments. So.
Yep. Okay, thank you.
I will add that this is not a public document. It will not be on the internet or on our website, but it will be given to the fire departments and EMS, the responders that have to deal with spills should they happen in the county.
Mr. Chairman, it falls under, I think, at least 2 exemptions for public view. So because it's an emergency response.
There's state law. Okay, obvious reason. Yep.
Is there a friend from US or Department of Ag? I should say. I'll get to the right
So
spot.
I also work with our state emergency response commission. So it is required of each county to have their hazmat plan approved by the CERC. So I did take a look at that, and Kaylee also filled out, we have a checklist that we go through of all of the things that are federally required to be in this plan. And all of the plan did meet everything in there. So we did go through and just make a couple changes, based on some of our laws that we have. But other than that, the plan looked good. Everything met every requirement that we needed, so, and also just to let you guys know that if there is somebody that does ask for some of the information that is in this plan, as far as some of those chemicals that are stored at facilities, our department does have an online website where they can actually see chemicals that are stored at facilities, but it doesn't tell them amounts, it doesn't tell them contact information or locations or anything like that. But we do have that on our website that the general public can see what is at these facilities.
Thank you.
Could I just state your name again, please?
Kelsey Newling.
In your position?
I am the Sarah Title III coordinator for Department of Ag and Natural Resources.
Anybody else have any questions on the rather thick and complete? It's surprising when you start looking at the definition of hazmat materials, how many of them we have.
It's a lot of reading,
It is.
but
Appreciate all the work that everybody went through to update that plan.
a good resource, good resource.
That's chairman to sign the sheet.
Yeah, authorized chairman to sign.
Make a motion, authorize chairman to sign the plan.
Second. Then moved by Comer, second by Ewing, to approve the plan and authorize the chairman to sign. Any questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Okay, motion carries. We'll get her signed. Yep, thank you for coming and all your work. That's it for general business, isn't it? Did we miss anything else? That's it. Sheriff Dean is up next. Good morning.
Morning.
Presently, we are at a revenue stream of $1,578,000 and some change. Clearly, we're on a good path, and while it's not a projection or certainly a guarantee, but everything would seem to indicate that we'll clear 2 million by the end of this year. With the rally and cool deadly nights in our rear view mirror, I can tell you that, in regards to the boar's nest, I think we made some significant advancements in how we approach that situation. While not perfect, and I would expect anybody to be, I found for what value it holds, the efforts of the owners working with us to be satisfactory, if not well satisfied in several circumstances. I think that's got merit for the board to understand. Outside of that, the efforts in the PSAP consolidation is going very well as of now. And we've got, we're working on a tentative date to proceed forward at a perhaps a little quicker rate than what we had anticipated. But everything is going well, and we're down to the nuances of employment and
Lawyers.
okay. I was trying to find the words to not make me direct it exactly that way, but that's exactly. So we hope to have something before you soon. We had hoped to have it today. I can tell you that Bruce is doing everything that he can, working well. That's what I have.
So go live date was that January 1st?
So go live date is January 1st, but as you can well imagine, the complexity of what's going on in this process is very high. And as we've been discussing with Spearfish, there's merit in having a physical transition far before January 1st, so that by January 1st, everybody that's up there understands exactly what their role is. And so not quite ready to announce the date because there's so many subtleties that are involved in the process, but we're working very diligently, as is Spearfish. We need to, at this point, we need to get Brenda involved with their HR department and see if we can resolve some issues that everybody is working together. I see no roadblocks. It's just going very well.
You literally have to hit the ground running when you go up.
The stakes are high. We all understand it. We know what our mission is, and but it's a significant step for Lawrence County, for Spearfish in particular. Long time coming. That's what I have.
Thank you, Brad.
Thanks, sir.
Yep.
So we're coming up on public hearing here at 8:25, so we'll just pause for a minute and a half here and wait for that to roll around.
Mr. Chairman, did you want to talk about the solar text sign? Paul is still here.
Oh, yeah, we could do that for a minute.
I have the quote, the price up on the board.
Yep. Go ahead, Paul, if you got something to
Well, I
add.
just got I knew you were talking about that, so I got the quote from the company that I got a grant for 2 of them, and same company, same sign, if you're interested. The 2 that I have are with Homeland Security, and they're supposed to be for emergencies, but they also claim that we can use them to exercise them regularly. So I left them with the county highway department. They've been gracious enough to keep them up, and they'll use them on a few occasions on their highway. So I would suggest that if you are interested in purchasing more, that it's wise to think of 2 at a time, because you put one on one end of the road and one on the other. This time we had them set up for fire danger, had to pull them off the fire danger to put them at the boar's nest. So that took away from our use, but that was more important at the time. So
Yes. So are there grant opportunities available still?
I can't tell you that because it comes year by year and it won't come until October. And then they'll,
Did it take 3 years the last time you did the
yeah, it
grant?
takes 3 years to get through the grant. So
Mr. Chair, if I may, I think John Bay is here, and I think he would say that he has some uses for an extra board. I won't speak for him.
Excuse me, yeah, we use them all the time. In fact, we'd be using them right now if they were available, but they're not available. We did a road closure for some bridge replacement, and we've decided to do it. It's kind of with advertisement and just some hard signs that we were able to put up, those signs. But it's nice to have those signboards up in advance with the information that can be given to the public. So we use them throughout the summer all the time.
they've been pretty reliable. I had one issue with keyboard. I called the company and they sent me the material, simple fix, back in business. So
I did check your contingency fund, and I believe you have $41,500 in contingency budget. If you're looking for a source. Or you could also supplement a budget later on too, I suppose, unless for Brenda, but they could use available funds, and then if they need to supplement it later in the year, then they could do that. Which would probably happen for that amount.
Commissioner, you?
Is it your recommendation to get 2 of them, Paul?
it works better because if you've got an incident, you gotta have something on both sides. Either do one this year, one next year, whatever, but eventually that you need 2 of them.
Are they available immediately?
Well, I didn't ask him that, but I'm pretty sure they hold. Yeah, they're readily available.
But our time frame for meeting them is mostly past. Certainly some fire danger concerns,
Oh, yeah.
but by the time we get it here, hopefully we'll have some snow.
I would say that in your consideration that if the county purchased them, they'd leave them with the highway department.
Mhm.
And we can pass them out from there.
Sure. Yep.
Yeah. So I just got the material together.
Okay, yep, I appreciate you getting that pulled together.
Thank you.
Any action on that before we go into our public hearing? Okay, it is 8:25, a little after. We'll go ahead with the public hearing on resolution 2026-22, which is a location of a right of way.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
This is the time and the place for a public hearing concerning the petition to vacate a portion of section line, or actually right away in this instance, submitted by Jason and Marion Belinsky. And it corresponds to plat number 2640 that you'll hear in a little bit with planning and zoning. And so to orient you, I believe that this is in the either Gray Road district or area, which I remember as Dead Road, I think. And I think this is an example, and you can see by the exhibit that's attached, that a road was originally platted and dedicated where the road is constructed does not match that. So this is a simple matter of vacating that where the road was originally intended to be, and then coming back with a plat and replatting the road in its current location, if that makes sense.
It does.
You're looking for a motion to authorize the chair.
Okay, that's staff report as an applicant here. Okay. This is a public hearing, so we'll open it up for public comments. If anybody has any public comments that they would like to give, we would just ask that you stand up and give us your name and address and present your comments. Everybody's avoiding eye contact, and I don't see anything online that would indicate anybody wanting to add anything. So if that's the case, we'll close the public comment period, public hearing period. Open it up to the commissioners. Questions? Seems like they just wanted.
I'll move to approve contingent on the plat approval.
Been moved by Flanagan, seconded by Tisdale to approve the vacation of the right of way contingent on the plat approval. Certainly appears that they just, road got put a little different, probably for contour purposes, topography. So all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Okay, that is approved. John, I think you're up next.
Good morning. All right, I have some documents that need some signatures. To start off with, Rose Engineering has submitted the construction management contracts for the two Nemo bridges that we've already received grants for. We've already signed the construction agreement with the contractor, which is Halmy Incorporated. These would be for the actual engineering on site to have them do the construction management. It's one for each structure. The one is for $192,770. The other is for $196,030. These are covered under the big grant. We only are responsible for 20% of these of those expenses. So, and that is to not exceed. They could come in less, and they have the last couple of bridges. The construction management has been coming in less, just for reference. But this is to not exceed those dollar amounts. But again, we're only responsible for 20% of that, so roughly $40,000 per structure. So I would recommend that we accept their agreement and have them as our, they're the design engineer. They are our consultant for bridges, and I would like to have them as the construction management company as well. So I recommend that we sign these agreements.
And the agreement was typical of what we've had with them in the past.
Yep, everyone that they've done it. The state's not going to do the construction management through the big grant. Then it always falls onto our consultant, and unless we want somebody else to do it. We've always, they design the bridge. We need them to be the consultant. And the state has not showed interest in being the consultant on these. So, if the state wanted to do it, we wouldn't even have these agreements. Anyway.
Okay.
Move to follow recommendation.
Second.
And authorize the commissioner or the chairman to sign this. That's his recommendation. Yes. Okay, so then moved by Tisdale. I think that was Comer that seconded that.
Yeah.
To authorize the chairman to sign the agreement is Rose Engineering for a construction management engineer. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Okay, I'll get that done.
Second of all, we have I think you guys have had put before you the development of Terry Peak, the Keating Resources, Deer Mountain expansion. I think there's a 61-acre expansion. They applied for a permit for an approach. The approach, to be quite frankly, they built the approach and then applied for the permit. That's the location where it's at. It started out as a little 2-track where they did some tree removal. We did authorize a right to occupy the right of way where they did that tree removal. Well, since then, they've actually built the road. Well, unfortunately, the road does not meet site requirements. I do like where the road's at. It does line up with their aces and eights, which is the development across the highway, which you can see there on that south side. But what they are gonna have to do is they're gonna have to excavate some of the material to the east. Again, I think it would be the southeast, to increase that site distance. I do not want to approve any kind of approach until that site distance is achieved. This permit that I have here would be for them to occupy and do that work in that right of way. It would, a lot of the excavation will be on their property. It's their material, it's theirs, but it would also be within the right of way. So I am, before we give them an approach permit and allow this, I would like to see this done so we can get the site distance. So we can make sure that it works.
Yep.
So my recommendation is to approve this permit to occupy the right of way. And it is a temporary permit as well.
Motion to follow recommendation.
Second.
And moved by Flanagan and seconded by Tisdale to follow recommendations, approve the right of way permit. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Okay. Way to stay on top of that, John.
Now, this will bring us to the next portion, the same development. They have some utility permits that they want here now. This would be to bore underneath the road in 2 locations to install a 6-inch water main. And then there will be also an excavation or an open trenching on the edge of the right of way, or as close to the edge of the right of way as possible, to connect those 2 water lines. And you would see that in that picture on the left there, that those 2
Or location.
clear to the left.
Left edge.
Here on the left.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yep, right there in that area. That would be the water line right there, and those are the 2 bore sites. I'm not sure where we are with this development. I don't think it's become, gone in front of the planning and zoning yet as far as for a final approval. So I don't have a recommendation on whether to go forward with these permits at this time. I mean, I don't have an issue with these permits or these locations for the water line or the bore permits, provided they stick within the parameters of the permit. And I also have the conditions of the permit, and that would be the utility must be in the outer limits of the water right of way. Any hydrants or valves will be located at the outermost limits of the right of way. No tracked equipment will be allowed on the county road, and the bore pits must be at the outer limits of the right of way. No digging will be allowed at the road or the road's edge. They did not submit any dollar value with these permits. When I asked them the dollar value, it wasn't available at the time. So if there would be if you wanted to impose a bond at this time, we would have to pursue that as well. So
So just don't quite have all the information in place yet.
well, and again, I don't know where you guys stand or where the planning board stands on this development in general. I don't know if it's even gone before them yet. So
I don't think it is.
It's on our next agenda, guys, September 3rd.
Next week. Remember, I have a meeting next Tuesday too.
So if I just took no action on it now, probably it would just come back. Is that correct?
That's the 22nd. Or maybe the 1st. Maybe
well, it'd
next
be the
week.
first, but that would also be before the next meeting.
Yeah.
So it would be the
It'd be the end of the next month.
22nd.
22nd.
I will say that I think DRM's, the reason they've done this is that I think they're trying to get ahead of the winter. They want to do the work, but
Yeah, gotta need to follow the process. Was this on an agenda, so we would need to continue it, or do we just take no action?
We can just take no action.
Just take this. Okay. I didn't really take it anyway.
Do you guys have interest in pursuing a bond on this?
Yes, we do.
Okay. That's it for any kind of signatures and permits that I have in place. I think if you'll notice there, I got some pictures. We did one, and now two. We finished one yesterday, the Hannah Road. We're replacing those structures. These are some items we purchased. I have a little more information at the next meeting, but we did the one up by the campground the other day. We have that open. It's currently not paved, just open to traffic. And your highway department did another one yesterday, and they did it within a 10-hour day. They had the road, we closed the road at 7 o'clock in the morning, opened at 2:30. Removed the structure and replaced it with that panel lamp system that we purchased from Whitewoods. Working real well, and we're gonna have all four of those things done, I think, by the next time we meet, maybe. So that's our plan.
A good deal.
We can hopefully we have enough time, we can get that paved as well before winter, but these structures are designed to be paved over. It's a paved road anyway. It's not great pavement, but we'd like, to have a wear surface on those bridges. You don't want, they're a 70-year structure, but if we have to have some sort of wear surface on them to make that work. So,
What kind of material are the planks? Those aren't wood then, are they?
they're wood.
They are wood.
They're wood, made right here in
Pave over the wood.
Whitewood, South Dakota,
You
yeah.
can pave over the wood and there's not
Yep.
enough flex to.
They don't move at all. They're pretty
Really?
solid. They're 12-inch by 4-inch boards laminated together, and so it's a solid board. No load rating. I mean, legal load rating, I should say. And we used existing abutments. We didn't do anything in the water channel. We didn't require any permits or any DANR work or anything like that. No 404 permits. We just, for all practical purposes, replaced the deck. So
yep.
This road and these bridges have been load rated for years at 4 tons. Not even a pickup truck hardly should be crossing them, and they're pretty bad shape. So it's going well, and we hope to be done early next week. I do believe that there was something on the agenda for that property up there for Rory Maynard's property, and I think Mr. Limbo is here to speak to that.
Yeah, go ahead, Chris.
I can get you started. So I think 2 meetings ago, as I recall, you authorized Rory to construct the road only in the north half of the section line. So that part of the section line on his property. I think, and Brad will confirm this, I think the road actually has since then been constructed actually on the section line. So occupying the north and the south part of the section line. At your last meeting, you discussed that you would like to have that part of the section line vacated. Well, if that is a prerequisite for plat approval, then the vacation would take away the ability to occupy that part of the south part of the section line. Does that make sense? So as a remedy, I believe that Brad and Rory are trying to get permission, an easement from the adjacent landowner to allow them to occupy what is now the south part of the section line, but upon vacation, they would have that easement as a replacement. Does that make sense to everybody? Did I say that right, Brad?
So essentially, this has kind of been back and forth between municipality and so coming out of the last meeting, Rory believed that he had authorization to move the section line or to move the road to the section line. So since this has drug out for a really long time and not your guys' fault, he immediately moved the road because that's what he's been hearing from the city is it needs to be moved centered on the section line. So he moved the road to the center line and section. And then there was discussions after the fact, and it was like, okay, I think we can come to some agreement. And I was talking with the city, and then I called Rory, and he said, I've already moved the road. So then called up to the county, found out that the road's now in a portion of the south half. Well, that wasn't approved. So the process from there has been to vacate a portion of the section line, which is what this document would be here. He has to get signatures from all the neighbors. He's working that. He's currently out of town. And then the other part would be to create an easement for the piece that he just vacated. So And before he vacates it and records that document, we need to have the easement in place from the neighbor because the road actually sits on a portion of their property in the section. So I guess what we're asking for today is, since this has taken a long time, we don't have these recorded, is that if you would clarify the position and say, pending these documents being recorded at the county, then you would allow for that to be signed once these are recorded. So it'll essentially be, the easement will be created and recorded, the section line would then be vacated and recorded, and then the plat will then be signed so it can be recorded, because it's approved.
Sure. Just as a reminder, so the vacation process has to go through the county commissioner, right? There's a public hearing, so just that has to happen.
Yep.
And so you can't guarantee you're going to approve it because you haven't had your public hearing yet. That makes sense?
The process would be, we need to get the signatures, we need to turn that in to the county. We can schedule a public hearing, do the public notices, and go through that process.
I don't know any way else to expedite it. I'm sorry to say.
Yeah, you gotta follow the protocol that we have.
Well, and if he has the easement created prior to and recorded, maybe then he could record the plat and the lot, then it could be vacated. Is it what he's trying to get to?
That'd
Is
be okay.
he's trying to get to where he can turn over some lots. Yes, purchase agreements out there.
Because even if the section line didn't get vacated ultimately, if the easements are there, it's just duplicative. It doesn't cause any problems, I don't think. And so then you could always take those off of there too, but I don't think it would cause a problem. I can't see it a problem. I say hesitantly.
So seems like we should get the section line vacated first, since he's already built the road on the south half.
That'd be clear.
That would probably be
Clean.
much better way of doing it. It's not as fast, but it would be a better way.
So this has been going on for almost 2 years. So we've been working with the city. We've been doing, I mean, the road is where it's at. The paperwork is in the process of doing it. And the only thing we're talking about is, I mean, nothing changes except for a financial position.
I see I understand your point. We're not going to be willing to cut any corners probably. We're going to do the proper way, but yes.
I mean, I think that just in terms of time frame, that it requires 2 publications, I think, with at least 5 days in between. So I was thinking that there would be a chance that you could get it on your 22nd agenda, but that is not probable. So you'd be looking at the earliest would be your October 13th meeting, I think, reasonably to expect it to be possible to consider. And then maybe that's what it is.
Yeah. We can sympathize with the time frame that's taken, but we need to follow the statute on how to proceed.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
You have another meeting, of course, next Tuesday, your mandatory meeting on September 1st. I guess if we come up with any other kind of a solution between now and then, we can present it for your consideration then. If there's any kind of brainstorming that we can do, I don't know what that is, but there is another opportunity in a week.
Anything more to add to that? That works for you, John? Do you have anything more for us?
Not at this time. I have nothing else unless you have anything for me. Oh, well, I would. So what Paul had brought up about the solar tech signs, I would just add that if you guys are considering purchasing these based on a use kind of a scenario, I would add again, we would use these regularly, the highway department. It's been a real good tool for us. We use it throughout our chloriding season pretty extensively, and to be honest, 2 of them is a little. We could use more. I mean, we put them on a road to advertise that we're going to be doing a surface treatment, and then we move it that afternoon to the next road. And we still get complaints, and we're always going to get complaints, but it's, if we can do it more in advance, I mean, I think it even is better. But again, this project that we're doing here on the Hannah Road, we're unable to have, we don't have any digital signs there to convey the message that the road is closed, other than our normal signs, which work, but the digital signboards are certainly a little more noticeable, people pay a little more attention. So
Exactly.
I would, in the future, if it is something, I do believe that would be a good purchase, and I think it would be very valuable to the counties. My 2 cents.
Do you think you'd use them much in the wintertime, or is this mainly a construction?
Only time we've ever used them in the wintertime is for, when there's a road closure for, we've had trees down. We've taken them out for that before, where, hey, detour. We've done that in the winter. That's the only time I can think when we've used them in the winter time.
But just another good health and safety.
We use them all the time in the
I
summer.
would support it, but I don't know what procedure we should follow.
Right, I'm through it.
But I know Paul had asked me if I would talk to you a little bit about it, so thanks for reminding me, Bruce.
Yep, go ahead, Bruce.
If you are interested at this point, and maybe not, I think our recommendation would be to not use the mine service tax funds because it's gonna come close to topping that out, but would be to authorize John to spend it out of his budget and then supplement at the end of the year if need be, if that is what you're considering. Thank you.
The contingency funds, not the mine service tax.
I'm sorry, did I say that? I'm sorry, yeah, get that on my brain.
That is-
Yeah.
Commissioner's contingency fund, yeah.
So as we come closer to the year and I can see what funds are available, I'm not against paying for some of these out of our budget. So I just have to see towards the end of the year what funds are available.
2 signs would be about $38,000.
Could we find out what the lead time is for getting them by the next meeting?
I can find out by the end of this meeting if you want to.
The bid's only good for 30 days, it says.
Well, I didn't see that. Okay.
And the way everything's going up. Yeah. Almost be willing to make a motion right now.
Do it.
Yeah, do it. All right, I am gonna make a motion that we follow the recommendation from emergency management and the highway department that won't get too complicated here, to purchase two of these signs and assign them to the highway department.
I already have the answer. Oh, it takes me 2 to 3 weeks.
Oh, quick.
Yeah, he's on top of it.
Second.
And moved by Ewing, seconded by Comer to authorize the purchase of 2 digital signs from Solar Tech for the bid total of $38,824. Any questions or discussions? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Okay, motion carries.
We're just spending your money, John.
It's your guys' money.
Taxpayer.
Taxpayers. For
It would be valuable.
Save
Yep, I think we'll take a break here. We'll move on to some planning and we'll get set up for that.
You guys have a great rest of your day.
Turn the microphone off. until we start.
All right, we will come back to order here and on to planning and zoning stuff.
Okay, we are here, it looks like with a plat for Jason and Marion's. Oh,
yeah.
what do you have to do? Looks like that's how the agenda is.
No, I
Is it
put
plat
that first, yeah. It would be board of adjustment after that.
Right, okay. So there's a plat for Jason and Marion Belinsky for lot 1A and Bedrock Mining Company. This one, they are combining the two lots into one. The owner is filing to vacate two small portions of the existing 66-foot public right of way. Was that on this agenda already?
We did
you
that
guys already
contingent
put
to the approval of the plan.
Okay, perfect. So they already went through that process, but we felt that until that was done, the plat shouldn't be on your agenda. So really, it's just doing exactly what you guys already did. And you can see on the plat, they showed the portion that they vacated, and then they're showing where the new road will be. So they're replatting it with the new road.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes. For clarification, is that where the existing road is,
Yes, it is.
not where the new road will be? It's where the
Yep.
existing road is.
Move that that's exempt.
Second.
been moved by Tisdale, second by Flanagan to make the plat exempt. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Okay, it is exempt.
Move to approve the preliminary and final plat.
Second.
Moved by Tisdale, seconded by Ewing to approve the preliminary and final plat. Any questions or discussion? Yeah, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Okay, motion carries. Entertain a motion to move to the Board of Adjustment.
So moved. Second.
Been moved by Comer, seconded by Flanagan to recess this county commission and convene as Board of Adjustment. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Okay, we are Board of Adjustment.
Make a motion to approve the Board of Adjustment minutes.
Second.
Been moved by Ewing, seconded by Flanagan to approve the Board of Adjustment minutes from the 11th, August 11th. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Okay, minutes are approved. Okay, conditional use permit 494.
Okay, so this is a CUP for David Winter, and this is on proposed lot 5A of Majestic Estates. This is, there was quite a bit of information in your packet, so I guess I didn't plan on going through the whole thing, but you can see that, you know, mainly they're looking for the church property. The property currently has no infrastructure, but they ended up putting in the church, the parking lot, the playground. It's kind of in the midst of all of it right now. It's not fully, they do not have a full occupancy permit yet. But as part of this process, there was some questions that had come about with it because the Good Soil Church school that's been operating for probably 5 years, I'm guessing, give or take, is looking at moving into this structure instead of it was out of somebody's house.
Okay.
They've grown quite a bit and they just need a bigger space. And so there's been some back and forth with this. And I know when the church building was discussed over time, it was always talked about having classes in there like you would normally have with like a church. You know, you'd have Sunday school and different things. But they would like to operate the church and have this Good Soil Earth school move into it. So the question had come about is, does the existing CUP allow that or not? It's never really separated. When they get a church, we've never said they can't hold classes because they have classroom space, and that's how we approved it. The building was fully approved. We went through Tom Paisley on it, so it's set up as a commercial, you know, to make sure like bathrooms and all of the stuff is done. So that's all done. I think it would work, but I was not comfortable with the way the CUP listed. It just says church. It doesn't say anything else. So I told them that we could, you know, go ahead and come in and ask what you guys thought is there. So to kind of go forward a little bit, you guys will be seeing a change of zoning on this same property here in the next couple months, for a change of zoning from park forest to planned unit development. And this is that all encompassing piece, which David has been talking to you guys about. So it is being included in that second phase that we have coming in, but the church was already in existence. And the school needs to move earlier than what the process is allowed. But that change of zoning isn't approved yet. So again, I'm kind of in that middle ground. Overall use, we were able to talk to Tom Paisley and he said it really doesn't change as long as they don't have any kids less than 2.5 years old to be exact. It's kind of a weird thing, but if they're 2.5 years old and younger, the building would have to be done differently. But if they're 2.5 years and older, the building is fine as it is, like the way that we've already permitted it. So there isn't, I don't have any concerns with that part of it. I think, Tom was fine with it. Now, I do know David had to contact Tom. Tom was gonna go ahead and review, like before we do that final inspection, to make sure there isn't anything that would, from a code perspective, is there anything that would need to be added? If there is, then he won't get his final inspection until that's done. But, so I mean, I think we're meeting our basis, but I was struggling with the fact that the CUP didn't say a school could be in.
Right. And I assume we have separate language for CUPs for schools that would need a CUP for schools.
Yeah, kinda, but we've never really, honestly, I don't know if I've ever really had a school CUP that I couldn't find any examples of it. We've never really had that. It's always usually been tied to a church of some sort.
David is here too. And are there limitations in our codes about when you can use the church?
Not really, it just, no, if you look at so I gave you a copy of the existing conditions, so you could see what's currently in place. There's really nothing in there, they have to have the certified stuff for building codes, the engineering, that doesn't change anything. And then there's, some stuff in there about the signage. Well, I don't think that would really change. It would just show one sign still. Litter containers, there wasn't really anything in here. It's just, it didn't specify.
It's just the difference is it could be getting used 6 days a week instead of 7 or 7.
Correct.
Excuse me.
Yep.
Okay.
And, at the time I kind of looked back at some of your guys' questions. Mainly it was the down throw lighting, outdoor ministry purposes, if we had any issues with like loud music, whatever. Well, we haven't had any complaints at all, but it hasn't been in full operation either.
Yeah.
But I can tell you the church school, Good Soil, has been operating out of a home and we've never had a complaint.
Yeah.
I mean, in how many years? It's just gotten to the point that it's bigger and they need more space.
Is it a home in a residential section?
It's a home very close to this property.
You have a question?
Commissioner Flanagan?
My question is, at what point does a school have food service facilities and then be required to meet those elements of health code and?
Yep, at this point, that's why
Kitchen.
we had Tom look at it, just to make sure there wasn't anything, and he said at this point, they would be fine to operate under what he has approved for the plans of the church.
And their kitchen?
Yeah, everything that's already in
So
the
they need
church.
to contact the state.
They would have to
They
go
need
through
to
the
have a
state if they
certified
have to do any
food safe
certification.
Person, somebody that's all those.
Yep. And I think that would be covered, like we already say that they have to meet all. So the very first one is the only one that kind of is a weird condition. We did put in there, the owner and operator shall comply with all applicable county, state, and federal regulations regarding educational facilities. That's the only part that we could find that had anything that we talked about education. And I think that was because we knew the intention was already always there, but it just hadn't happened yet. So I think that would apply, in that scenario. If they need food safety stuff, they're gonna have to go through that process to do it.
Are all the other conditions being met?
Yes. As of now, like I said, we haven't had it fully active yet, but they're gonna, because we did go through Tom regarding that kind of commercial review of it, I'm pretty comfortable with it. It's just, we aren't gonna give them a final, approval till it's all met. That's just the way it's gonna be. And they're aware of that. I don't think there was any concerns or questions with that. I know David's been talking to Tom on, is there anything else I need to add or do to bring this into compliance?
Mr. Winter has in general been very conscientious of those kind of things in the past.
Yeah. So that was my only concern with it. So it's really not if you're comfortable with it, the way I'm looking at it, we don't really need to do anything because I think the conditions are in place. The CUP is already there. They would still do their normal annual review, just like they would have to do, and that would be coming up here pretty soon anyways. So I think we would still go through all of those same processes. I just wanted to make sure everybody was on the same page. So if all of a sudden you start seeing, you know, the church and then underneath that, the good soil earth, not good soil earth, that's wrong. Good soil church school, then it would be okay. I just didn't want anybody to be surprised if they saw it.
Go ahead.
So do we need a motion to declare this a minor amendment and just add that element to it, or just not even, just acknowledge that
Public
it is?
hearing also.
I would suggest that, just a clarification that a school as proposed is an allowed use as contemplated under the CUP.
And it is, I think we did it as a public hearing just because we wanted to make sure, you know, if there was any concern by a neighbor or something, that they would have a chance to.
It doesn't say public hearing on it.
Yes, it
We're doing a
does.
public hearing today on this.
Mine does.
Right at the
top.
Yeah.
For
Well, this,
494.
are you looking at the staff report, Bruce, or this?
I'm looking at this agenda that I've got. in my-
The agenda
It
does not
says-
have a
it
public
does not
hearing,
say
Brandon,
public
I was
hearing.
looking at the other one, never mind.
This was, yeah, this was just the original, providing you what had happened before, is what the staff report was, sorry. I thought you were. looking
No,
at
I
the
said
staff report.
it's not a public hearing.
Okay,
No, I was looking at the next one. Sorry,
okay,
I apologize.
So we're just interpreting the ordinance.
Correct.
And to me, school, a church school is not much different than Sunday school. It's just five
Except
extra
it's-
days a week.
Make a motion to that effect, that it's within scope of
the
CUP
current
as approved.
CUP as approved.
I can't. Somebody could.
I thought I heard Bob say it.
Bruce,
Can you
did
say it
hear
again?
Say your motion again.
That a school, a weekly school fits within the approved use under the CUP, according to the city property. I might shine that up a bit, but you get the intent.
Okay, I'll make that motion.
So it's been moved by Ewing, seconded by Tisdale, that to accept the fact that a school would fit under the conditional use.
Approved conditional use.
Approved conditional use. Conditions, I guess, what would they be the conditions?
And scope.
The scope of operation of the church. Which I don't know how Brenda's gonna interpret that.
I'll wait and see, I can't wait.
Okay. I
Stay
think-
tuned.
Any other discussion on that? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Okay, now you
David, is that kind of, I think that's what everybody was, okay, thank you. All right, now.
So next up is variance 224. Applicants Dennis and Lynn Thomas, and we will have a public hearing on that.
That's what I was mistakenly looking at, Brandon. I apologize.
Okay, so this one is kind of interesting. This has been a long, drawn out permit. I believe Lynn was maybe gonna try to be online. Okay. Oh, there you are. You're hiding back there. Okay, Lynn's here. So what this is gonna do, we had an existing building permit issued on this property back in 2026 for a residential addition. And then even before that, we had one once, it didn't get started, it expired, then they restarted again. And as part of this process, the existing home that was there was torn down. We got it approved, went through all the floodplain stuff and all the stuff to rebuild it. As part of that, there's also a detached garage that sat on this location. And when they were starting to work on it, they thought that they could just go ahead and do it, but it was never included in the original, all the work that they did on the house. The garage part didn't get included in that with all the floodplain stuff. So we had to go back through the process. They have done that. And really what it came down to is because the structure was in such disrepair, they had to really do some work to it, bring it into compliance. But as part of that, they wanted to do an addition. So the addition is really what started causing the issues with, we couldn't just issue it because the floodplain is fine. They got that approved. That's not an issue. We got the floodplain development permit, but they want to be able to actually add on to the structure. And then there was some setback issues, but they don't want to fully tear down. They want to put it back in the same location, basically, with the addition. So that's the long or the short of all of the letters that are in here. This kind of shows from the floodplain study that Helene Eddy did. We had her update it, so the existing cabin was over here, and that was able to be pulled out of the floodplain. This was the proposed garage right in here, and it's actually the existing structure with the addition. That's the proposed garage. Is all in here. It's not going to meet the setbacks, so then they decided, well, could we ask for a variance? So really, it's just the variance that's in question on the garage, but I wanted you to know that there's been a lot with this property to try to bring it back up into, right now it's just been kind of a dead structure since sitting there.
The old Ben Becker property, right?
Yes, it is. Yep. And it was like an A-frame cabin, and then they tore it down and, trying to get it back up. So that's really the gist of it. It is going to be a variance to put it in that same location and use some of those walls and try to kind of bring up the old structure.
And if I'm not mistaken, the new construction was away from the property line, so that wasn't the variance in question.
Correct.
The issue was the lot line was put in after the garage was built.
Correct.
Yep. Yeah, because it was an old homestay
It was an old lot.
model. Yeah. So that's kind of what's going on with it. I mean, you
My
can
home
see.
state didn't do it right in the first place. Yeah.
So is the foundation moving to the north or the south, or is it staying on that plane?
Staying on the same
Plane just coming out in front?
further front.
Yep.
Which is just
Which is
grassy
farther away from the
area.
highway.
and farther away from the highway. And that property sits in a bowl anyway, so you've got rock wall with a higher elevation, so you're not gonna get in there anyway.
Are you done, Amber?
Yep,
Your staff.
that's all
So
I
this is
have.
the time and place for a public hearing. As typical, we hear a staff report and I'll offer it up to the applicants if you have anything further to add that you have already. Maybe, did you need their name and address? You have it, okay. So being this is a public hearing, if anybody has any comments for or against this variance, now's the time. Yes, ma'am.
So.
If
my
you could state your
husband,
name and
Ralph,
address, please.
Is Alfred Carroll Rousseau address,
Yes.
PO Box 777 Mead, South Dakota. Ralph's the architectural review chairman of the HOA. Our concern is there going to be planned a secondary residence in this garage?
No.
That was never requested as any part of the permit.
I mean, we've never seen the prints on this garage or anything to see if it's intended living area or any neighbors beside there that would have an issue with these setbacks.
No,
Yes.
we've talked to our neighbors about it, but this is the garage, it's the addition on the garage.
And the reasoning for the storage upstairs is we're gonna make it our permanent home. We have a lot of antique stuff. We have to have a
Yeah.
place to put it.
We have the same thing. It looks a lot like
The
ours.
20 feet is, we got two old pickups that we want to bring with us.
Yeah, so all the applications have not had living quarters in them, and the setbacks are just complying with the existing structure,
Plus 20.
away from the setback line. So that's not part of
Oh,
the variance
I get it.
necessarily. Anything else? Any other comments? Anything online? Okay, with that, we'll close the public hearing and offer it up for questions from the commissioners.
Mr. Chairman, I would note that this does require 2/3 supermajority, so 4 out of 5. And I think Amber probably accepted it as the variance request conditions or criteria. I can go through them if anybody wants me to.
And planning and zoning did approve the variance.
They did approve, yes.
And that was unanimous.
It
if I remember
was-
correctly.
Yep, Wing and, no, it was not.
It was not?
Wing and Ewing motioned and second. There was Travis Shank voted against it,
Okay.
but the rest of them voted for it.
Oh, sorry, Commissioner Plank.
So this variance, the addition they want to do doesn't affect the setback. Is that what I heard?
Well, I wouldn't agree with that. I think you're asking for a variance all the way across. It's more of it where the existing structure is. So here's it's only 7 feet right here.
Is it true, Amber, that the addition does not make the encroachment any worse?
Correct.
Right.
So it's away from the setback line. The new addition's away from the setback.
It
line.
is, but it's still not 25 feet.
It's still not 25 feet. Okay,
Yeah.
I see what you're saying.
So it's still, so yes, you're doing a variance from this back wall and this wall here. No, mainly on this corner. Fronts. Right here.
Oh, she's got it. She's got this. Okay, sorry, guys, I'm leaving
Yep.
it backwards over here.
So it's these corners right here, and I can zoom in on that if you want to.
I've got it here.
Okay. This corner is okay, and this corner, this is one of those that's a pre-existing lot of record. So we have that, it's already there.
So what's the hash line on the?
That's
north-
floodplain.
north-
That's just showing you the
That's the hash,
floodplain,
okay.
which is why we had to have them go through the floodplain study
Okay.
to make sure that when they put the new structure in, that it was gonna be elevated high enough.
I think that's confusing.
It is,
Is the-
yeah, the hash line is
not the
is
setback
just the
line.
floodplain.
Right.
This is the property line, like it comes this way and then like comes this way.
Yeah, okay.
And the lot line on the, well, you'll say south side of the garage that's Forest Service, right?
Yes.
And actually, you have the highway on the front side, you've got Forest Service on all the sides except for the northwest. That is what I saw from them.
I think that's right.
Is it really? It's not,
There's.
must be private to the east. Isn't there another house just to the east?
Let me look here. Let's pull up this one. So here's their lot right here.
Mhm.
And then this is just nothing on this side.
Right, that's
So
it.
you've
There's
got one
H
over
lot,
here.
H lot in front, and then you got the creek, and then you got across the creek, you've got the other properties.
So the closest one would be the Bomberger property.
Any other, we did. Any other questions or action?
I move to approve variance number 224.
Mr. Chair.
Second.
Does your motion say it complies with SDCL 11-2-53 subsection 2?
Of course it does.
Thought so.
Did you second that?
Yeah.
Moved by Tisdale, seconded by Ewing to approve variance number 224, complying with section 215.003. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay. Okay, motion carries. On to variance number 225, which will also include a public hearing.
With the applicant, Mr. Willer right here.
There, yep.
So this is a variance request for a fence. It is a 19-foot variance to a 25-foot rear setback requirement. Basically, this issue came about due to a complaint that we had received. And so we looked into it, and sure enough, the current ordinance does include fences. In 22 years that I've been here, we've never issued a permit on a fence.
Within the definition of
Within the
structure.
definition of a structure. So we looked at it. I have since created an ordinance to fix that problem because it obviously is not what we've been following. That is on the P&Z agenda for September 3rd. But because this had come in the way that it had, we opted to follow what we would normally follow. If there is a problem with a setback, we give the people the option to go through the variance process. That is what they have done. The structure has been engineered. The city of Spearfish issued the building permit on it. It is a large, long privacy fence between two neighbors. And there is concerns between those neighbors, but we're not going to get into the neighbor issue. That's not really what the question was, is whether or not the fence needed a building permit, and they did get one. And also they engineered it correctly, meeting the standards. And so the second part of that is it does not meet setback. So therefore the applicant decided to apply for a variance to leave the fence in that she has installed. So that's probably the gist of it. Planning and zoning in this case did recommend approval of the variance. And it was unanimous.
Okay, before we start the public hearing, Ms. Davis or Kellen, if you have anything to add?
Sure.
As the applicant.
My name is Kellen Willard. I'm an attorney up in Belle Fourche, and I represent the applicant.
Do you need my address? My
Business
business
address.
address is 618 State Street in Bellpouche. And I won't rehash too much. I think you've all probably looked at the packet. One of the things I said at P and Z was, in my opinion, good fences can make good neighbors. And I don't want to get too deep into the neighbor dispute, but this is kind of a chicken and egg scenario where it's never been enforced this way. My client went through the proper steps, was in good communication with the county and the city, got the permit, started putting the fence up, and then the neighbor identified this ordinance that it looks like you folks are going to be looking at amending. So even if you don't grant the variance, if you pass the updated ordinance, this probably doesn't matter, but we would ask that you grant the variance just so we can try to avoid future issues. And my client is here to answer any questions you have as well. Thank you.
Thank you. So we'll go ahead and open the public hearing. If there's anybody that would like to make a comment, either for or against this variance, now is the time to speak up. Anybody in the audience? Anybody online? Doesn't appear to be so, so we will close the public hearing and offer it up to the questions from the commissioners for action.
Chairman.
Oh, sorry. You're very good at raising your hand right when I look down.
There you go.
I'm sorry.
You actually had it up pretty well.
I'm sorry.
I would suggest this is an oversight that this should not be in front of us, but it because of the way it's worded, the oversight is there. The city of Spearfish requires building permits on fences over 8 foot tall, I believe.
Yep.
And with this one being this tall, that makes sense that they would get a permit from the city. But again, we're issuing I'm assuming we're issuing this variance that will go away in another month or two once that's cleared up. But I'm going to make a motion to approve this because I don't. It was never intended that a fence should be 25 feet off the property line.
So who are we giving the second?
Bob can do this.
Okay, moved by Flanagan, seconded by Ewing to approve variance number 225 for the fence, according to the normal reasonings for variances. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Okay, motion carries, variance is granted.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you.
Is Jeff on his way down?
He's standing
He's
up there. Just
standing up there. Okay,
Here he is.
all right, ready for you, Jeff.
Okay. Morning.
Morning. Good morning.
A few interviews to run through this morning. First one is for 437 Horsetail Rides, Tammy Hilger. They decided a year or so ago that they didn't want to do it anymore. It was too much work and cost too much. And when I talked to them, they just said, please cancel this. We're not going to do it.
Move to approve or to cancel CUP 437.
Second.
And moved by Flanagan, seconded by Comer to cancel CUP number 437. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Okay, CUP is canceled.
Thank you. Second one is 46924 Troy Schulte's out on Matson Lane. He had redone his CUP a few years ago to change the cabins. 2 of the cabins are done. Third one is being built. And I will say the place is cleaned up a lot, getting rid of those old campers there. So it's a good thing. So we recommend a good review and do it again in 12 months. He can go up to 6 according to his CUP. He's just not quite halfway there. 474 Dean Meyer. This is the especially resort that's out on basically across from Whitetail Court out there. 2 of the cabins are complete. He's got 1 more to go. So we recommend doing another review in 12 months. David and Patricia Johnston, 479. The mobile home is in place. It is being used as intended. I should have put second residence. I did not. My apologies. But we will do another review in 12 months. 483. This is Casey Jeanette Bauer. They were able to. They had last year. They had a few more sites to put in to meet their total, and those are all done and up and running. No problems. Never had a complaint out there. So we would recommend that we put this on as needed basis.
So move.
And moved by Flanagan, seconded by Ewing to place conditional use permit 483 on an as needed basis for review. All those in favor say aye. Any opposed, nay. Okay, motion carries.
495, the storage lot for Scott Anderson. It's a lot, it's all complete. But being this is the first year, we normally go 2 years to see if there's any complaints. So we'd like to review that again in 12 months.
Okay.
And the same goes for 497, storage lot for Chad Anderson. We'd like to do another review in 12 months on that since it's first year. But everything seems to be going fine. And that is all I have.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for Jeff? All right.
We're working on getting you some for the September 1st meeting.
Okay.
We've got O for sure, and I'm waiting for a call back from.
Okay.
But I believe it'll go.
Okay,
So
that'd be great. Thank you very much for
You bet.
that, Selema.
no problem. Thank you.
Would entertain a motion to adjourn as Board of Adjustment and reconvene as County Commission.
So moved. Second.
Then moved by Ewing, seconded by Homer to adjourn as Board of Adjustment, reconvene as County Commission. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay. Okay, motion carries. We need a couple minutes to.
I can get it
around
out.
Emmer, or,
The only thing I have for the 96 is the ordinance, or the resolution itself.
So we don't need to reset the computer.
No,
Okay.
or the ordinance, yes, or.
Okay, we'll move into Senate Bill 96, which is the county sales tax. Next on the agenda, we've done, first reading was last meeting on the 11th, and this will be the second reading. We've had 2 opportunities for public comments. We didn't really plan on any extra today. We did get a letter from Work Resources that we had some interpretation questions on. Myself and the staff were interpreting it differently. So I've asked Chad Blair to come and just explain some of the questions that we had there, I guess. It revolved around how their expenses are deductible from the mining severance tax.
Yeah, sure. Thank you everyone for allowing us to be here. So my name is Chad Blair. I'm representing Fort Worth. And so to answer your question specifically, so as we look at how the sales and use tax is implemented in the county, and then we apply our 2025 operating expenses to help demonstrate what the potential impact of this may be, we calculate that our operating expenses are going to increase around $600,000 every year moving forward. Now, a portion of that can be offset as it relates to the state severance tax. So 10% of our net income goes into that equation. That is the portion that we can offset. That is approximately $54,000 per year. So when the math and the dust settles on all of that, we anticipate a net increase of $546,000 per year every year moving forward if this tax is implemented as proposed. Now, I want to be clear, and I want to make it readily known that our questions, our concerns have nothing to do with the implementation and the goal of this proposed tax as it relates to relief for our homeowners. We 100% support that. We applaud the state, we applaud the county for coming up with a way to ultimately do that. Our concerns lie with how is this implemented, who is ultimately affected, who does it benefit, who does it hurt, does it shift the economic structure of how things exist in Lawrence County, right? So one way to demonstrate that is if you look at the top 7 employers within Lawrence County itself, 6 of those are tax exempt. 1 of them is not. That is us at Fort Worth. And so as a result of that, we have some concerns on ultimately how this is implemented, right? And so before the board is able to move forward and make a decision, has all of those concerns been identified? Have we looked at the totality of what this might be? Is there unintended consequences that may come as a result of this? Have all of those been considered and fully vetted before this moves forward? Not only for us, for renters, for the tourism industry, for small business owners, for large business owners. Do we fully understand what the impact of that is? And if not, do we need to hold off on making a decision on what that might be? And so that's our concerns, that's our questions, and I do appreciate the time to address those.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thanks for coming up and answering that.
Yeah.
I didn't quite understand how that was all working.
Sure, yeah.
I would kind of like to do this according to Robert's Rules Order and have a motion before we do any further discussion on this. So we would entertain a motion
to approve.
2026-1.
Yes. I'll second that.
Been moved by Ewing, seconded by Tisdale to approve county sales tax, which is ordinance 2026-01. I do have some comments. I've given a lot of thought to this ordinance the past 10 or more months. Through my position with the Association of County Commission, I was involved in what became Senate Bill 96 prior to the legislative session, and I actually testified in support of the bill twice during the session. Even with that much time to consider the issue, I did not reach a decision until a few days ago. On one hand, we have homeowners in Lawrence County who, due to increased demand for housing in our county, has driven up the valuation of their home, which in turn has driven up the property taxes. In many cases, this is affecting retired homeowners who are living on a fixed income and do not have the ability to generate additional income. There's no doubt they need some relief. On the other hand, we have residents who are living near or below the property line. These residents are typically renting their living arrangements and will not experience the property tax relief they're being asked to help pay for through an increased sales tax. With most of our ordinances, we are able to identify potential challenges and mitigate them to reduce the negative effects to the public. I've not found a way to do that with this one. Either homeowners are not going to receive additional property tax relief, or the people who can least afford additional sales tax will be paying for it. Through this process, we have received several public comments, letters, and I have all independently had discussions with individuals. I have listened to them all, and while I haven't kept a tally, I would say there is no clear direction on which way to go. Both sides in this issue have very good reasons on whether or not the commission should pass this ordinance. Ultimately, for me, it comes down to who is in the best position to fund local government. Inflation has had an effect on us all. While some of us have had to make adjustments in our lifestyle, others have had to make far more difficult choices of which bill to pay and which to default on. This is the group that I'm most concerned about. They're having to make life choices instead of lifestyle choices. Some will argue the population in the lower income brackets have assistance programs to help them along. That is true, but an additional sales tax represents another hurdle for them to climb over. Even more challenged are the ones that are just over the income level limits for assistance programs, but they're struggling to make ends meet. These are our residents who are filling important jobs in our community, and we need to create an environment for them to succeed, not make it more challenging. A county sales tax would also place an additional challenge to the private contractors and industries of our county. While it is true in some cases they can pass that expense on to their customers, and a sales tax can count as a deductible expense, it will not be a 1-to-1 ratio. It will still represent a cost to them. I certainly do not discount the challenges homeowners are facing with the rising valuations. I also recognize property tax is not the only rising expense they are dealing with. We have all experienced an increase in insurance rates, energy costs, and home maintenance costs. While a county sales tax would provide some property tax relief, I don't feel it would provide enough of a difference to homeowners to justify the effects of the lives of non-homeowners, businesses, and industries. For those reasons, I will be a nay on ordinance 2601. Any further discussion?
I'd like to make a comment.
Sure.
I take each and every position seriously. And I put very careful thought into each one of them that I vote for as one of your officials of Lawrence County. After reading the history of Senate Bill 96, analyzing available information and data, talking with people, and reading every email, letter, or other documents I received or found, I've been back and forth every day on how I may vote. My vote will be coming down to this. I will be supporting what I have concluded is best for the entire population of the people that make up Lawrence County.
Any other comments?
Not raise my hand this time.
Did you have a comment, Commissioner Flanagan?
You know, I did, we've talked about this and it's come up. I'd like to think smarter people than me help put this together, but I'm not sure that's the case. It may be the only feasible way to do some property tax relief. It's unfortunate that it occurs the way it does. I've seen things in other states that they're trying to do, and it basically comes down to cutting services, which is the hard from this board's perspective to do. Like I said, I've been all over the place on this one too.
Yes, Senate Bill 245, concerning the school levy, that goes into effect next year, doesn't it?
Is it next year?
Yes, it goes into effect for the 26 payable and 27 taxes.
If that helps, I guess that provides some relief.
Yes, and the sales tax itself changes July 1st, 27
That is when it goes back to
to the 4.5%.
4.5. This
Yes.
one will take effect on January, if you pass this on January 1st of 27.
Yes. Commissioner Planning.
This is a question probably more for Bruce and for Brenda. If this were to pass today, there'd be more discussion than on the implementation of it. Is that correct? Where we could do a prorated thing or wait a year or any number of options?
I would refer to Chairman Jennings. I think he has an answer to that.
Yes, that is the case. So that would be so this ordinance creates the sales tax. It'd be a separate issue on when to offer property tax.
Probably 28. Is that fair?
It could be done either way. Yes, either we could project, either the commission could project what those receipts are going to be and offer relief in 27, or we could collect sales tax money and offer that 100% of that towards relief, but minus the county expenses of 2% the first year and offer that as relief in 28.
If I may, Mr. Chairman, while you're thinking, I think I reported this before, but Brenda and Greg and Brett and Deb Tridle got together and they're prepared to be able to implement it whenever you need it to be. Obviously, there need to be some changes to our computer system, but everybody's, I think, confident that that can be done wherever you dictate.
Any other discussion? Not, we'll go proceed to a vote. I think we should probably do a voice vote on this one. Brenda, please.
Ism,
Aye.
Ewing,
Aye.
Homer,
Nay.
Flanagan,
Aye.
Jennings.
Nay. Okay, motion passes 3-2. We will institute a county sales tax. It'll be published in the paper. Needs to be a 20-day comment period after the publish of the paper. Is that correct?
Mr. Chairman, I think according to the proposed publication schedule and the 20-day requirement that it would go into effect on September 25th, as I recall. And I think you have to have it reported to the state within 90 days. So we would have a few days margin of error there to get it sent to the state.
Yeah, 90 days prior to January.
That's right.
All right, moving on. I think that takes care of most of everything on our agenda. We'll move on to items.
Yeah, try to want to come in.
Oh, yes, I forgot to. Yep. Is she ready? Yeah, would like to report issues that they're having with property tax.
Oh, Mr. Chairman, if you wanted to start with items,
we'll just
there's a gentleman here.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and do that. So we'll start with items of the public. If you have an item that you'd like to discuss with the commission, just give us your name and address, please, and make your comment.
My name is Glenn Wentz. I live on 3005 Main Road. Okay. When let's see. You guys raised the road, how you say it, my road comes up and it's 17 inches high now. So when I bring in some of my trailers, drag in the road. And 3 months ago, I talked to John, excuse me, and we talked about what could come, and he said that he could cut the road back down by my place. Because the road comes this way, goes up, and then goes back down into highway. So it's like they added too much to it. So it causes a bad deal for me from having trailers. Second, when they put the bridge in, I own a bunch of the land on the other side of the bridge. I call it the south side. And they put absolutely no black dirt down. And then, so there's rocks in there. And it's kind of uneven on some places. So that, to me, should be black dirt put back in.
And this is on the public right-of-way portion of the road you're talking?
On my property. They took out a big area of it. Okay, on the, I call it the south side of the bridge. And, so absolutely no black dirt was put in. And then the water used to run down to the creek. And now it looks like it'll run down in if you get a hard rain and then run into my back. Because it's built up on the side of the bridge, on the north side. Okay, that's the part that I'm talking about. That, so it would be over here where it gets uneven and everything, you know, so that's my property. I feel it should be taken care of. And then by the curb sign, when I come out of my property, they put gravel down, actually just dumped it and spread it out on my property when there's nothing there. Those rocks need to come out. The P rock, because now it fills up my area. I showed John all this.
So I'm assuming that you had given them an easement when they put the bridge in, is why they were over on their property? Is that
Well,
correct?
I signed the easement
Yeah, okay.
because they had said, we need to be able to get equipment in here. Not knowing that they were gonna eat up more of my property. Which to me, I'm not an engineer, so Rose Engineering, I believe, did it. They should have said, well, here's where the bridge is gonna be. Instead of just not advising me how much more property was gonna be. So I feel that that was wrong. And then I think because of the road, I think the bridge got pushed back because they were too close to the temporary road. So then, anyway, on where these extra rocks are pushed onto my property, which I feel needs to come back off. Then down in the ditch, they just dumped a bunch of dirt, and I used to mow that. Well, now I can't, because when you come down, it's kind of a drop off. So therefore I cannot mow. Okay, so these are the four things that I'd like to see taken care of. Okay, I just feel that, because here's my approach. So when you measure from here to here, is 17 inches higher. Now, before you guys did that lift, I never ever had a problem. But if you stand back here and look, all this right here is all way high. It's like they put on way too much gravel.
Okay. Thank you for your comments.
Okay, that's all I wanted to say. Thank you.
John, do you have anything that you'd like to add to this? We have, this is what the packet is. So I think you all saw the pictures and the copy of these.
Well, all I'll say is when we gravel that road is 2024, we put 4 inches of gravel on the road. So that's 4 inches compacted. I did meet with Mr. Lentz. It was late May, early June, around in that time. As far as where the bridge is placed, the bridge is exactly where it's supposed to be. It's exactly where the plans that he was given. It's right where it's supposed to be. We purchased the easement from him, and the permanent easement, and we purchased the temporary easement. As far as the gravel that is in the one picture in the ditch, I'm not really sure where that gravel came from. At one point, he had a driveway that was just kind of built to his garage, which I guess was probably built in 2019 or 2020. I don't know if that gravel was part of that. It moved. I don't know. We removed his driveway, and maybe that gravel's there. I did say we'd be out to do some of these things he spoke to, but when time allows. This would be kind of a winter or fall project for us. We haven't been out there this summer. We've got plenty of things going on, so we can come out there and scrape up that gravel out of the ditch. But as far as any rocks and stuff that are on his property, I mean, when we built the box culvert, that easement was purchased, and I mean, in my opinion, from the pictures that I put up there, I think there's less rocks there now than there were before. That's just my opinion.
Okay, thanks.
So on this picture, second page, bottom right, that, is that a stormwater conveyance ditch?
Which picture now?
This one right here?
Yeah, that would be, well, that would be the back slope of where the box culvert is after construction.
So then stormwater flows down through the
Yeah, to the creek.
BMP sitting in front of that culvert into the creek.
Yeah.
So if you put topsoil on their base, it'll wash away.
Yeah, there was never any topsoil planned in this. It was never added. There was never a, it was never part of the plan to have topsoil. It was just all the existing material that was used when we built the structure. It was just all the existing material. We didn't remove topsoil, nor did we replace it. It's what was there. There was never anything in the plans to actually put topsoil back. Just use existing material.
And it looks like it's been seeded also.
Yep, we seeded it. Yeah.
And it's also in the county right away.
Yes. So on this bottom picture there, where is the right of way line? It's probably hard to tell from the picture, but.
Well, if you go to the one picture that has the right of way, there's a map there that came from Rose Engineering. It would show the easements, it would show the right of way, and it would show what was purchased. Right there, that picture there. Anything that's in blue was a temporary easement. The green lines are the right of way, and the white lines are the easement that we purchased.
Okay. The right of way goes quite a ways. Trees there. Okay.
Thank you.
Yep, thanks for coming. Any other comments?
Yeah, I have a comment. So Brad Limbo, I live at 1955 Mainland Road. I am a private citizen and a business owner. I guess what I would like to say today is that as a business owner that works with landowners constantly in this format here with the commission, I've had discussions with people in the past regarding the issues that we run into as a land surveyor dealing with the city of Spearfish and county commission. And the problems typically come up in the 3 mile plating jurisdiction. That's a 33-year-old document. And I guess I've said it privately to people, and now I want to publicly say that I would recommend that you guys make a concerted effort with the city of Spearfish to resolve the issues that your citizens in Lawrence County are coming up against. Because they don't have any say in the issue. They're not citizens of the city of Spearfish. They're citizens of Lawrence County. And so you guys represent them. But there's a lot of situations that they get put into where the city's making decisions based on what they can do with their land or what they should do with their land or what they can do with their land. And then they come here and it's a problem. It's 33 years old. It needs to be resolved. And I just wanted to put that out there officially at a meeting.
Yep, thanks, Brad. And I think we are actually working on that, trying to resolve those issues.
As soon as we get back from Western Planners Conference, which is the rest of this week, that was the intention, is we'll start on that document.
So picking that up
So
in September, sometime in
I
September.
think that was the goal. Yep.
We recognize those issues too. Anything else from the public? Anything online? Looks like we lost all of our online people. All right, we'll move on to Ms. Tritle, Mrs. Tritle from the treasurers. Who is the treasurer, county treasurer? I'm darn glad to be there.
It's been a long couple days. Last week, we had a customer call us about a letter that she received from Wells Fargo saying that Lawrence County had provided special assessments. And I'm going, no, we always do stuff like that. We thought it was a scam at first. Well, it's not, because we've gotten numerous ones starting yesterday. These are all the people I have to call back once I can try to get to the bottom of it. For a little bit of history, in the past, Wells Fargo, when they paid their taxes, every month I would send them my electronic file of real property and special assessments, and they would keep up on their customers that way. And then in April and October, they'd send me the payments. 2 years ago, Wells Fargo quit doing that. They contract with CoreLogic. It's a company that is picked up, does it across the United States for all these little banks and everything. Well, Wells Fargo is now having CoreLogic do it. I've worked with them numerous times. I send them my file monthly. They send their stuff to Wells Fargo, tell Wells Fargo what to pay and everything. Well, all of a sudden, Wells Fargo doesn't like, I don't know if they don't like how CoreLogic is doing it. From what I can find out, CoreLogic sends them a total bill for the first half with the special assessments and the real property all in one. Wells Fargo pays it. Well, now all of a sudden, Wells Fargo saying that the county is not providing them files for this, which I call bull, because if they wanted it, I would keep sending them files, but Wells Fargo has not requested it for 2 years. It's been like trying to get into Fort Knox to get a hold of anybody at Wells Fargo. I finally just, I've got CoreLogic. CoreLogic is working on it from their end. They're trying really hard to figure out what's going on, and they think letters should be sent out to the people saying this is inappropriate, but they're trying to work on their end. I finally got a hold of somebody at Wells Fargo this morning, the branch manager over at Spearfish, and she says, well, we looked into this, and I called for one of the customers, and they said, since you're not providing information, they have to pay all their special assessments. And I said, I called her on the carpet. I said, no, you guys quit requesting the files. This is inappropriate. And now I don't know if the people are getting their second half taxes paid, because some of them have gotten money back. The bank, they said their escrow's too full. So I'm working on it, but I mean, my phone's ringing off the hook. Pretty soon you guys' phone's gonna be ringing off the hook saying, why isn't your county treasurer providing this information to Wells Fargo? So I just wanted to let you guys know what's going on. I'm trying to work on it. And like I told that lady, I explained to her, I said, every parcel in Spearfish has a front footage. I said, so, and anybody that has a Wells Fargo loan, I said, your own bank has a front footage. I said, so there's numerous people. I have people on road districts. And I said, these people don't know what to do, what they're supposed to pay. I don't want them to start coming in paying their second half taxes, and then CoreLogic has already collected it, and then I've got to try to send stuff back. So I'm working on it. She's finally realizing that it is a problem, and she's trying to go up the chain, but she doesn't know who to call. Because when you call the mortgage company, I finally got a number for the mortgage company for Wells Fargo, it takes me to CoreLogic. So
So
it's,
to the best of your knowledge, it's just affecting the special sessions now, but you're still
Well,
worried
but
about it might
I've
affect the
had
property
people
taxes
that
too.
don't have special assessments that just have a house.
Yep.
And they got these letters too,
Really?
but it says special assessment. So I don't know what Wells Fargo is doing. I hope it doesn't affect the second half of taxes, but it could really affect the first half of next year, especially if they're not collecting them now. And then the people are gonna be short. They don't know if they're supposed to come up with, some of my districts are $200,000, $2,000, $3,000. So it's a mess. CoreLogic is really trying hard on it. Hopefully Wells Fargo can get to me, but I wanted you guys aware of the situation because the phones are ringing off the hook, people are calling, and my girls are taking their names or phone numbers, and I told them I will call all the people that leave a message, call them back, let them know when I find an answer out. And I'm gonna have, when Megan gets in this morning, I'm gonna have her put it on my webpage too, that we're working on, trying to get to the bottom of it.
Deb, did you say that this was based on a decision that Wells Fargo made 2 years ago?
CoreLogic has been collecting, they contracted CoreLogic to collect the taxes, or to be the middleman and send out, say, okay, these are your clients. Wells Fargo sends them their clients. I send CoreLogic my whole file every month. And they look at all these different banks and say, okay, they collect the money from all these different banks. And they, like last year, I had like over $6 million come in from CoreLogic.
So, I mean, so 2 years ago, Wells Fargo contracted with CoreLogic.
Yes.
And that changed the circumstances a little bit, but it worked well last year.
It's been working well for 2 years.
2 years, and then all of a sudden, so this comes out of, I'm just trying to frame this for everybody.
Yeah.
So I understand it as well. And then sort of Wells Fargo apparently unilaterally decided there was an issue and sent out a letter.
And I don't know where it's coming from because they're getting the correct information of what to pay for the customers.
So
And so you're still providing information, you're just providing it to CoreLogic and not
Yes.
to Wells Fargo directly, but that was Wells Fargo's election to do it that way.
Correct.
So you have not changed, you are providing the information, you're not being obstinate or obstructionist in any way.
No, I'm more than happy to provide it to the banks because they get paid. And the biggest problem that's gonna happen, it won't happen this tax, the second half, because there's no specials due on the second half unless they didn't pay the first. But come next year, if Wells Fargo is refusing to pay it, and I don't get the customers to pay the first half or the special assessments, I cannot accept the first half of taxes. The special assessments have to be paid before I can collect this first half of taxes. So it needs to get resolved. Otherwise, there's gonna be because I don't know who has Wells Fargo. I have no idea. I don't know who, if you have escrow, I don't know who has escrows and who doesn't.
The CoreLogic thinks it's just business as usual. They're still collecting and.
Well,
they
no,
weren't doing
I
anything
reached
different.
out to CoreLogic. This isn't even, I mean, CoreLogic didn't even know Wells Fargo did this.
Right,
I've reached
so
out to
they're
them.
just continuing on as they always have, though, aren't they?
Yes, yes.
So they didn't know that there was an issue at all.
No, and they've jumped on it right away yesterday. I've been emailing back and forth to them. They're trying to get a hold of somebody. CoreLogic feels once they can get to the bottom of this, that Wells Fargo should be sending letters out to all the customers and trying to straighten it out, but yeah. You have a couple numbers for me too?
Having incomes too. Got some numbers, but I can call them back when the time comes to.
No,
But if we
like
had
I
it-
told the girls, just please take all the phone numbers. I will call the people back, let them know what's going on. It's,
Mr. Chairman, maybe I'll add to the next agenda, Deb can give you an update on next Tuesday.
Hopefully we'll
Yeah,
resolve by
hopefully,
then.
yes.
Yeah.
hope I can have an answer by then.
Mhm.
Yeah, but that's the story. I just wanted to let you guys get ahead of it too, because I'm quite sure you guys are might be getting phone calls or something, and you guys should know what's going on about it.
Yeah, thank you.
And we're trying to get to the bottom of it.
Thanks. Okay, yeah, thanks, Deb. All right, anything from the commissioners like to bring up? All right, we'll see you next Tuesday. Keep that in mind, next Tuesday.
Right here, same bat station.
Same bad station, 9:57. Have a great one, everybody.
All right, we are adjourned.
Thank you.